Hi, this is Dr. Taryn Lupo. In my last video, I talked about Sue. And I also said something that really wasn't that accurate. I said you get paid for just surfing around. No, that's not right. So I'm going to tell you exactly how the pay works. Stick around. So Sue is a brand new social media platform. If you haven't heard about it or you accidentally surfed in this, watch this video first. This is where I explain what Sue is. If you have watched it and you want to know more about getting paid, then you're in the right place. In some aspects, Sue is brand new, so it's still kind of like the Wild Wild West. It reminds me of what Facebook used to be in 2008 or 9, which I really like. Not a lot of rules, they let you kind of figure things out on your own, but there's a lot of confusion about how you actually make money. Now, there was so much confusion, I actually had to get on the phone with the creator, Sebastian, and we talked for over an hour, and he finally explained everything to me and gave me all the nuts and bolts. So I'm going to share that with you. So before I get into the inner workings of Sue, you first have to understand how Sue itself gets paid. It's actually advertiser supported. So in other words, Sue goes to this big pool of advertisers and says they have a certain demographic. We have so many males who are 35, we have so many males that are 65, etc. And what they do is they actually tie the ads that you see to the demographic. So if you're 65 and older, you might see reverse mortgages. If you're a 35-year-old male like me, I see a bunch of ads for fantasy football. This is a different model than you see Google using with things like AdSense. AdSense actually tracks the content. So if we're talking about fish aquariums, all of a sudden I'm going to start seeing ads for aquariums all day long wherever I surf. This actually marries the information to your demographic. So I'm going to see stuff that 35-year-old males want to see. So you actually make money by getting paid from a share of the advertising. Sue is not greedy. They only take 10% to run their company. The other 90% they share among their users, which is great news for us. We do get paid to put out original content and have people interact on it. So unlike most social media platforms where you create the content, you bring your friends in, and they keep all the money, Sue's different. They actually pay you to bring your friends in, and they give you a portion for the content you create. Now there's a massive amount of confusion on Sue on what you actually get paid for it and what you don't. So let me break this down very clearly. Sue only pays you in two ways. One is to post original content. The other is to bring people into the social network. So let's define what original content is. Or sometimes it's called organic content. What this is stuff that's real, that you actually made or produced. So if I take a picture of my cat and I talk about it, that's fair game. If I'm a blogger and I put it up, fine. If I'm a YouTuber and I make my own videos, great. Now, all that stuff is original content, but there's a little more you have to understand. So let me clarify what an original or organic post is. As long as there is a source behind it, you're fine. So again, if you want to share like a hot news article and it's been shared on Sue all over the place, you still get credit and paid for that and all the content it generates by people talking about it. What Sue is starting to have problems with are copyright issues. So they just don't pay people for images that are copyrighted elsewhere. And if you go as far as say you're so bold that you create an account and call yourself Annie Leibovitz and take all of Annie Leibovitz's famous photography and post it all over Sue to generate content, Sue, when they decide to pay you, they go back and check what your content is. And if they find out that you're just making money on other people's original work, they just don't pay you. To sum it up, as long as you're mentioning the source or can be linked back to the source, you're good to go. But if you take stuff that is other people's copyrighted material and try to play it off as your own, they figure that out and don't pay you. So anything you post that you come up with is original, organic material. That's great. But also you get paid for posting links. So as long as the source is cited, there's no problem. If you want to sit there and share all your favorite YouTube videos and people talk about them, not a problem. You want to share other people's blog, not a problem. In fact, you can actually make a pretty decent living as a news aggregator. If you took all the favorite news sources, kind of like Drudge Report does, put it up on Sue, you can get paid for all that talk that happens around and all the interaction. So those are the things you get paid for. This is the big misunderstanding. There's a bunch of things people are doing on here that you're not getting paid for. People are just wasting their time, and it's actually kind of spammy. You actually do not get paid for sharing, liking, commenting, or doing any sort of like for like, share for share post. They have an algorithm at Sue that picks up all that stuff and just washes it out so you don't get paid. So there's a lot of confusion about this. So why do I want to like, comment, and share on people's posts if I'm not making any money or getting paid? Well, the reason is to build goodwill. Nobody's going to share your stuff and nobody's going to comment on your stuff if you don't be friendly and talk to them. It needs to be like a real social network. If you just play this thing for money, you're not going to make anything. You need people to really like you. So, let's reiterate, you get paid by people interacting on your post. That even counts if you go to someone else's wall and you post on their wall, you still get paid. It's just kind of a courtesy that they're letting you use their wall to post and get comments. Let me be more specific how the pay actually works. Now, it's not like AdSense or Google where if you click an ad you get paid per clicks or paid per impressions. None of that stuff matters. What matters is they keep track of how much interaction you generate on your post. So they add up kind of your numbers of likes, give it a value, they give a value to how many shares you get, how many comments. They add that all up and give you a percentage. So Sue puts all their money they make in a day into a daily pool. In other words, the advertisers might pay them $10,000 to run so many ads. Say you put up original content that generates 1% of all the traffic and interaction that's going on Sue. Well, then you get paid 1% of that $10,000. So you'd make $100 that day if you put something up that went viral. So the second way to make money on Sue is to actually bring people into the network. Sue values the fact that you tell people and bring them in. You'll actually get a percentage of whatever income they generate as well. I would almost say it's like multi-level marketing, but it's not, because you don't have to pay anything, you're not getting involved with selling anything, you're just getting rewarded for telling people about the network. So they use a network setup, but I wouldn't call it network marketing. To get a better idea of exactly how this works, take a look at this image. So here we show how a dollar gets broken up. The advertisers pay $1, Sue gets 10%, you get 45% for posting original material. Now, the person who signed you up gets 30% of your post, and the person that signed them up gets 10% of your post, and the person that got them on gets 3% of the post. So it just keeps going up and up and up, dividing by thirds. So if you understand this chart, this is the way you really make a living or a good paycheck on Sue. The secret is to get people involved. There's certain people who brought in big fish, like if you bring in a celebrity or someone who posts a lot or a big blogger, you'll get paid really well for all the activity they do for now to the future. The word is getting out about Sue and it's growing ridiculously fast. I really believe that it will trump Facebook in a matter of a year or two when people start getting larger and larger checks. Imagine if at the end of the year you just surfed around and used this as a regular network and you got a $1,000 check at the end of the year for Christmas. I mean, how great would that be? Facebook doesn't give you anything like that. It's estimated that you can get a $1,000 check just having activity of about 2,000 friends. But if you really want to make real money on it, you have to treat this like a business. Sue's only going to pay you pennies when you start. You're going to feel like you're grinding away and you're really not getting much money back for the time you put in. But guess what? That's how business works. For about 6 months, you don't really make anything. But you'll notice that the more people you bring in, the faster you bring people in, the faster and bigger your checks get. Sue's really only been active a few months, and there are already people on here who are making pretty decent checks. So imagine a year or two from now, you could actually make a pretty good living if you focused your energy on here. Now, don't forget, Sue's also a great social networking platform, and I'd probably be on here for free anyway just to promote my blog and my stuff. My advice, if you want to really make decent money, is to invite heavy users. Try to find people who blog a lot, people you see posting on other platforms, and invite them over to your network. You're going to have to hold their hand as they get started and help them until they understand the value and see how fun it is. So I hope this cleared up how you actually make money. And what I'm hoping is it also eliminates the spammers. There's a lot of content, and people, when they find out they can make money on here, that are trying to game the system. But what they don't realize is Sue has algorithms in place, just like YouTube does, to search down to make sure you have original content, and also search down that you're actually active or not creating a bunch of robots under you to like things. They figure all that out and don't pay you for it. So stop wasting your time in doing it. So if you're still undecided about joining Sue and you're sitting on the fence, now's the time. Click my link right here, or just type that in. You can also find it in the description below. Go ahead and click that. If someone else sent you this video, don't click my link. Instead, click the link they sent with it. You want to join with them, not me. I think the one thing you want to take away from this is never forget, Sue's a cool new social platform, so treat it like such. If you don't have, a blog or a YouTube page, talk about yourself and your friends and your family and post up pictures just like you do on Facebook. If you treat this just like you do on Facebook, you'll do really well.